Hey girls, so today I'm going to be doing the Beauty Blender sponge review. I have a couple of other beauty sponges that I'm also going to review in it, but basically I'm going to be talking to you about how much I love the Beauty Blender sponge. I got a lot of requests in my last video, my everyday foundation, my summer foundation routine. So if you want to see how the Beauty Blender performs, I'm going to go ahead and link that video down below and you can check that out. It's kind of just shows you how I apply my foundation with it, and yeah, I absolutely love it. So if you want to see how it works, I will link that video down below and you can check that out. But basically I'm going to tell you the key points to the sponge, and also a comparison between the other sponges that I've tried out, because I know that the Beauty Blender sponge is kind of pricey and it's just a sponge, but it's absolutely amazing. So let's go ahead and get started. So first I'm just going to show you, this is the Beauty Blender sponge. It's pink and it retails for $19.95 at Sephora, but a two-pack of the sponges plus the Beauty Blender cleanser. So two of the sponges plus the cleanser is only $39.95. So I think that if you're willing to invest in it and you're like, oh, I definitely want to try it, just go for the $39.95, because you get two of these sponges plus the cleanser, and the cleanser is amazing and it really lasts a long time. And so do these sponges. They last forever and you can clean them, so they're super easy to stay like sanitary and everything, and they're really easy to clean. But anyways, so the one sponge is $19.95 and two sponges in the cleanser is $39.95. So that's the first price. And then I just kind of want to tell you what I really love about what I use the Beauty Blender for and why I love it. So the first thing I do is, you can use it for concealer, foundation, and powder and blush. But anything powder, you can use basically for anything. I only use it for concealer and foundation. I've never used it for powder, only because I'm typically like an oily person, so I want that powder to mattify my face, so that's why I've never used it with powder. But I hear it does work, and I hear people that do use it, so you can do that. It'd also be great for like colored blush or cream blush, but I've never used it for that, so I don't know. And so I'm basically going to go ahead and first start and talk about the difference between the Beauty Blender sponge and all the other sponges that I've ever tried. So the first major difference is the size that it gets when you dampen sponge. So beauty sponges are like supposed to be activated by dampening them, and dampening them lets them not soak up as much of the foundation because you don't want to waste your foundation. So this is the original size of the Beauty Blender when it's dry, and this is what it looks like when you dampen it. It's crazy how big this sponge gets, and just how like soft and squishy this sponge is. The texture is amazing. It's latex free, which is really cool, which is really nice actually, and the texture is just like unlike any other. It's so soft, it's so bouncy, it's just super springy, and it just like gets huge, and like you can tell how much water it just soaks up. And this shows you that this is all soaking up water and not your foundation, which is just an awesome feeling. So I really like this, and I don't feel like it wastes any of my foundation really. I mean, you can tell because it kind of like gets in there just about as much as a brush would, so I don't think that it's wasting any foundation really. So it's crazy how big this grows. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about some of the other sponges that I've tried, and the one that I've tried from Sephora, which is also like a higher end, and this is $12, and this is just the Sephora Beauty sponge, and you would think that this would grow. It's very similar to the shape, a little less pointy, but still pretty egg-shaped, and this doesn't grow at all, and it's not squishy. Like, it's very dense and just not, like, as you can tell, apply the same amount of pressure, and you can just tell that this just kind of like gives, and this doesn't go anywhere. So it's very small, so in comparison to the face, it's really not easy to work with, and it's just like the size comparison, it's just crazy. Like, you can't cover the surface area with this, and it's really dense, and feels like one of those like Nerf balls. Have you ever played with those in the pool where you like get them full of water and just like throw them at people? That's what it feels like. It's super dense and just kind of like not fun to put on your face. It's hard. So the other two sponges that I've tried are from Sonia Kashuk, and these are the beauty sponges from Target. Sonia Kashuk is a line that's sold at Target, and I tried the pink one first, and I loved this sponge, and I still really do like it. It's not anything compared to the Beauty Blender sponge. These run you about $10.95. You can't purchase the pink one anymore. You can only purchase the blue one, and as you can tell, the pink one is bigger than the blue one and a lot softer than the blue one, and I liked the pink one a lot better, but you can't buy this anymore. I don't know why, but it soaked up a lot of my product. It doesn't grow when you get it wet, so that kind of stinks. But I don't like the denseness of these. They aren't like springy and bouncy. I mean, this one's not bad, but you basically are just limited to stippling and kind of pressing in here. You're not able to like roll the sponge and stuff like that, so that's kind of a downfall. I did actually like the control you do have with these little ridges, but now that I have the Beauty Blender, I'm like, oh no, I don't need that at all, so it's not really of any use. So this wasn't a bad sponge to try. It's just not comparable to the Beauty Blender. And if you could still get the pink one, I would recommend getting it, but the blue one just is not even made out of the same material. It's just not good at all. This one's a lot more springier, and this one's just stiff and hard, no matter whether you get it wet or not. So I don't really recommend these. I mean, they're not bad sponges, but I just think that for $10.95, you might as well just buy those regular triangle sponges, because I don't think this one does anything special. So if you're gonna spend the $10, $11 on this sponge, just save it until you get another $10 and try the Beauty Blender. So I don't really recommend the Sonia Kashuk ones or the Sephora one. I just don't think that they even come close to comparing with the Beauty Blender sponge. So yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and just share with you a couple of different facts that I wrote down, some of the perks that I really like. So it's super easy to clean. You just take it and just run it under the water with some of this soap. You can use any soap, it doesn't matter. I just got this one because it came with it. So they're super easy to clean. I clean mine about once a week. I don't clean it every time I use it, only because I've heard that can kind of break down the material. But I've had this sponge and used this sponge for probably like, I don't know, over 6 months, and it's still holding up. There's just no problem with it. It's still working pretty good, so I love it. It's lasted me forever, so that's really nice. You can use it immediately. Like, you know how when you clean brushes, you have to wait for them to dry? This, you can use it right away because it already has to be damp, so that's awesome. I love that, where I'm like, oh, this is dirty, I really need to clean it, but, you know, I need to use it, so you can't. So it's just amazing. I love that. And it's the only sponge that I've used that truly gets bigger when you absorb it with water. So I feel like it absorbs the water but still maintains its light, bouncy fluffiness, and it doesn't soak up the foundation, which is awesome. It's really like a flawless skin type like look on the skin. So a lot of people like to apply with their fingers, but you can still look a little streaky when you apply with your fingers, so I totally recommend that sponge. Like, it just kind of evenly flaws and blends out everything super perfectly because it's mixed with the texture of the sponge plus a little bit of water that thins out your foundation. Just, it's so awesome. So I love that. It's really bouncy. It's the perfect shape because, as you can tell, it just has that nice little point, so it gets right in between the nooks of the eyes, the nose, and like the mouth and stuff. So it's perfect, and you can also just roll it. It's amazing. A really cool idea to do is, like, say if you have a blemish, which I have one right down on my chin, the technique I like to do is put some concealer on it and just kind of take and tap the sponge, the tip of the sponge on the blemish, and then kind of like swirl. Just like twist the sponge and kind of bounce it back and forth. That's gonna just take your foundation and kind of like twist it and blend it so the middle has the most and then the outside has just like blends with the rest of your foundation, so it literally looks seamless. Like, you're still gonna see the bump, but it blends so amazingly, better than any brush, I think. So I absolutely love this for covering blemishes. It's latex free, non-allergenic, and it is odor free. So yeah, I just think this sponge is absolutely amazing. I cannot tell you enough great things about this sponge. I recommend doing it. I recommend investing in this sponge, and yeah, give it a try. So that is my Beauty Blender sponge review, and I hope you girls found this helpful. If you've tried out any other sponges and you think they're comparable to the Beauty Blender, let me know, because I mean, I'm always interested in trying out new things, and maybe I just haven't found a better sponge, or who knows? Or maybe the Beauty Blender is the best sponge there is. Who knows? But for me right now, I'm obsessed with it, and I do recommend spending the money to get the Beauty Blender sponge because I think that it will change the way you apply your foundation. So I hope you girls found this video helpful, and I will talk to you all very soon. Bye-bye!